Good day everyone. I am Kirstinavet S. Gajana from Bisas 3V and one of the reporter of a clinical microbiology. And my topic is about the diarrheal disease. So, we have here the history of the study of the microorganism. First, we have here the diarrhea. So, defined as an increase in the frequency, fluidity of volume of bowel movements relative to usual habits of each individual. So, meaning, yung diarrhea, it is the pagtaas ng frequency at pagluwag ng stool. So, ibig sabihin, mas madalas ka mag-CR at mas watery yung pagdumi mo kaysa sa normal mong routine. And it usually 3 or more bowel movements per day, and that is considered as a diarrhea. Second is we have here the gastroenteritis. It is the inflammations of the mucous membrane of the stomach and intestine resulting in frequent loose motions with or without blood and mucus, pain in abdomen, and may be associated with vomiting. So, in gastroenteritis naman, ito naman yung pamamaga ng stomach and intestine, and kasama dito yung loose stools, pananakit nga ng tiyan, and also with vomiting. Minsan lang yung vomiting. Third, we have here the dysentery. So, dito naman sa dysentery means presence of blood and mucus in stool, often with tenesmus. So, dito sa dysentery is mas severe type of diarrhea which is may kasama ng blood and mucus sa stool. At yung pakiramdam na parang kailangan mo pang magdumi kahit wala nang lumalabas. Next, we have here the traveler's diarrhea. So, sa traveler's diarrhea naman is nangyayari ito kapag yung isang tao is galing sa ibang bansa tapos is bigla siyang nagka-diarrhea within 1 to 2 weeks. So, pagdating niya sa developing country. So, usually dahil sa contaminated food or water. And last, we have here the food poisoning, an acute diarrhea with or without vomiting cause of microbial contamination of food. Dito sa food poisoning is nakaka-take tayo ng mga microorganism which is mga galing sa mga contaminated food or water. We have here the causative agent, which is yung diarrhea can be caused by a bacterial, the Vibrio cholerae, Salmonella, Shigella, E. coli, and Staphylococcus aureus, Clostridium difficile, and Bacillus cereus. Also, nagkakos din yung mga viral, which is yung rotavirus, Norwalk virus, adenoviruses, caliciviruses, astroviruses, coronaviruses, enteroviruses. And the parasitic naman, yung mga Antiamoeba histolytica, Giardia lamblia, Cryptosporidium, Isospora belli, and Balantidium coli. And sa fungal naman is yung Candida albicans. Now, let's move to pathogenesis of a diarrheal disease. So, infection occurs by ingestion of contaminated food or water. Contaminated hands can also be transmit infections. The pathogenic mechanism resulting in diarrhea. So, we have here the toxin type, which is the non-invasive type. Dito naman is nagpo-produce ng toxin yung bacteria, which is inaapektuhan niya yung secretion ng intestine and lumalabas yung fluid, nagkukos siya ngayon dito ng diarrhea. That is a toxin type or non-invasive type. Next is the growth within the intestinal cells. Dito naman sa growth within the intestinal cell is dumadami yung organism sa lining ng intestine. Yung example nga natin dito yung rotavirus. And then, nasisira nila yung function ng intestinal cell kaya nagkukos din siya ng diarrhea. And the invasions of mucosa naman, dito pumapasok mismo sa intestinal cell yung mga organism, especially yung mga Salmonella, E. coli, at saka yung E. histolytica. Kaya nagkakaroon ng dysentery. Next, sa adhesion naman is, dito naman yung microorganism is kumakapit siya sa mucosa, kaya naapektuhan yung mga normal absorption and secretion. So, what is the treatment for a diarrheal, which is important dito yung electrolyte, which is yung hydration. And if the bacterial is severe, kailangan gumamit ng antibiotics depende sa may case, and supportive treatment din tulad sa ORS or oral rehydration solution. Next, we have here the food poisoning. Dito sa food poisoning is nangyayari siya kapag kumain tayo ng mga contaminated na mga food, water, which is yung mga microorganism or mga toxins. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng sudden diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. The causes of food poisoning is Staphylococcus aureus, Clostridium perfringens, Bacillus cereus, Salmonella, Vibrio species, Campylobacter. Next, we have here the pathogenesis of food poisoning, which we have here the sources of infection. Common source include meat, poultry, fish, egg salads, milk products, vegetables, and rice. And infection mechanism, food poisoning occurs through a ingestion of food contaminated with bacteria and its toxin. And we have the two types of pathogenic mechanism, which is preform and invasive microorganism. Sa preform toxin kasi is, meaning dito, may toxin sa food bago mo pakainin. Example natin dito yung mga Staphylococcus aureus and B. cereus. Dito kaya mas mabilis yung symptoms nila, which is within hours only. Dito naman tayo sa invasive microorganism, which meaning is yung mismong bacteria yung umaatake sa intestine. Yung mga example natin dito is yung mga Salmonella and Campylobacter. So, clinical features of food poisoning is, it is usually after 1 to 24 hours, may nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, fever, and fevers, mucosal weakness, and restlessness. So, for prevention naman is kailangan ng proper food handling, clean kitchen practices, safe food storage, avoid spoiled or improperly cooked food. And for our next topic, we have here the urinary tract infections or UTI, commonly known as UTI. So, what is UTI or urinary tract infection? It is a bacteria that multiplication of bacteria in urine within the renal tract. So, meaning, yung UTI is nag-occur siya when bacteria multiply sa urinary tract, from urethra to the bladder, ureter, or the kidney. And we have here the types of UTI, the upper urinary tract infection, which meaning yung apektado yung kidney or yung ureter. We have here the pyelitis or pelvis of kidney, and infections sa pelvis and kidney. Yung pyelonephritis naman is kidney tissue. So, meaning, infection sa kidney. Next is, we have the lower UTI, from bladder pababa siya. We have here the urethritis, infection of urethra, and cystitis, infection naman siya sa may bladder. Yung prostatitis naman, infection siya sa mga prostate, which is common, which is sa mga males. For our pathogenesis of urinary tract infection, adhesions of organism is an important factor in pathogenesis of UTI. The adhesions is mediated by villi or other adhesins, such as colonization factors, and once it's adhered with the help of various virulence factors, it spreads and produces pathogenic effect by resisting bactericidal and bacteriostatic effect of a local tissue. Infection may be ascending types or descending types. So, dito, yung bacteria is nag-a-attach siya sa may urinary tract, which is using yung kanilang mga villi or adhesins. And once they attach, they multiply and resist the body's defense. And the infection can be ascending, meaning from urethra pataas, and then descending naman is from bloodstream papunta naman sa kidney. And for our clinical feature, we have here the asymptomatic infection or covered bacteriae associated with active disease process in kidney. If left untreated, it can develop cystitis and might go to a renal failure. Sa asymptomatic naman is hindi mo alam na meron ka na pala, so therefore hindi mo mabibigyan ng pansin. That's why nagkakaroon tayo ng cystitis and renal failure. Next natin yung symptomatic infection. We have the cystitis, which painful urination, frequent urination, and fever and suprapubic pain. Yung pyelonephritis naman is high fever, chills, flank loin pain. And for our treatment, it must be treatment for urinary tract infection should be guided by a susceptibility report as multiple resistance. Drugs may occur in uropathogens sometimes or combinations of drug required. So, dito naman must be based from antibiotic susceptibility test kasi marami ng resistance sa uropathogens and minsan kailangan ng combinations of therapy.